Happy Wednesday, hump day in the morning. Get your hump on, right? Welcome to the show. So we saw some of the fireworks yesterday in one Senate hearing, but that was not the only Senate hearing yesterday. And what's interesting is that we finally have begun to hear the name said out loud. The name that no one's saying. I mean, we're talking the media's Voldemort. But apparently his name is getting said now, but you know, there's some laughable moments to talk about. And the name's in the title of this stream. And I'm waiting for the AP and Reuters fact check on a man who probably will be the most famous man in America soon. Well, maybe not, because the media doesn't want to talk about him, but I want to talk about him. And I want to talk about what people said about him yesterday. And Ted Cruz trying to get out of redemption. You know what? I don't know, but if he is, he did a pretty good job. He did a pretty damn good job yesterday. Even though, you know, as others would tell you, nothing's going to be done, but at least we got his name into the sphere. And then I've been laughing as certain entities have been scrambling to try to get you to not. Don't worry about that guy. Don't worry about him. He's just fine. He's just fine. Leave him alone. There's nothing to this at all. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see. And yes, the fact checkers. I'm absolutely they've been activated. Fact checkers are going to be going wild over the next day or so, and we'll get to hear about it. But I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee what the fact checkers are going to say. They're going to say, because Twitter's already foreshadowed that. And we'll get into that and who I'm talking about. If you don't know who I'm talking about, oh boy, buckle up. Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Oh, yeah. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. Or if you're here the first time, welcome today. And tell your friends, tell your neighbors, make this the fastest growing channel on YouTube in 2022. That's the goal. Let's help me get this. I think I'm worthy. I think I'm worthy. Please. Okay. So anyway, welcome to the show. It is. Oh, did I introduce me? Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And it is Wednesday, hump day, the 12th of January, 2022, where Dawg Knight has not yet mistakenly said 2021 yet or written it on a check. Now, granted, I haven't written a check probably since 2019, but that's all said and done. That doesn't matter. Okay. It still counts. Hello. Welcome to the show. Let me just quickly say good morning to everybody, because we're going to get into this seemingly new theme coming from the January 6th committee and the media and Democrats. I know, redundant. Concerning our good friend or nemesis, depending on who you ask, Mr. Ray Epps. Now, I think because I've been talking about it. I've been talking about it a lot this week, or at least the last several shows. And in fact, I think YouTube doesn't want me to talk about it because they keep giving me that, that yellow thing when you're trying to monetize the video. Because I don't care. If I made 20 cents from actual monetization of videos since I've started this channel, I'd be shocked. But they give you that little yellow sign saying, this is limited monetization because of the topic. The topic is too spicy for anyone that would normally want to watch a video or something on YouTube, because you're not supposed to talk about things like that. And so I am just going to say that, perhaps they just don't like the topic, and the social media doesn't want you to talk about it. And so we're going to talk about it anyway. I guess is this going to be a yellow thing that they do, the warning thing, that I can go ahead and call them assholes, because swearing in the first few minutes doesn't matter anymore. All right, let me just jump to this, because thank you, Scotty Dubs, first sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. Doing YouTube Super Chats. If you want to sponsor the show, there's several ways you can do it. I'll tell you that in a minute after I read Scotty Dub's message here. Thank you. Very generous Super Chat. I appreciate that. Who says, good morning, Marty. That is my name. I'm Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. So if anyone's here new and is confused why I'm being called Marty, that is my name. I'm just PDawgKnight on the internet. You can call me whatever you want within those confines. Anyway, thank you, Scotty Dubs, again. Good morning, Marty. I'm amazed every day at how the powers that be and their media take the gaslighting to the next level. Just when you think they can't take it any further, they do. Very, very good point. And I see the crowd approves. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're gonna show you, right? We're gonna show you. The grift has begun. Yes, Jimmy Phil. But all right, so let's do this. I'm gonna let me just say hi to everybody, and then we're going to get right into it. So thank you again, Scotty Dubs, for sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do YouTube Super Chats, or if you go to PDawgKnight.live, the Streamlabs link is in the upper right-hand corner. You can watch the show there. You can, if you want to sponsor the show, just throw a couple bucks in the tip jar. You can do that. You can write a message, and you can participate in the chat all on PDawgKnight.live, or just watch on YouTube. It's all good. That link will come up in the chat every once in a while, and it'll open another window, and you can do it there too. Whatever floats your boat, whatever rolls your tires, whatever slopes your skis. I don't know. I'm just making shit up now. Anyway, first in the chat today was Legit Low Talker. Who gets the bell? Yes, I did say Legit Low Talker. Thank you for being here first. And also, good morning, Buster's Outlaws, Selected Boys in the house.
Yeah,
also, good morning,
boy.
Mike Savage, Blarg, Jesse Leon's here. Good morning. Also, good morning to, I said Buster's Outlaws, Jonathan Peterson, Scotty Dubs, who's the first sponsor of the day. Also, good morning to T-Ball. Welcome. Also, Tyre Alexander. Yo to you too, sir. Also, good morning to Ebony Williams. Nice to see you, my friend. Welcome back. It's nice to have you on the rare occasions you can make it, and I appreciate when you're here. Good morning also to Random American making another appearance. Nice to see you. Also, Suzanne's in the house. Nathan Tucker. Are you related to Tucker? Anyway, yes, the fact checkers have been activated. Also, good morning, D.I. Fredo Watcher, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Also, good morning to anybody else? Anybody else here? People's Front of Canada, Jimmy from Philly. You wiped. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say that correctly. Jimmy from Philly. Wiped. I always love when you say that, Jimmy. I love it when you say that. Jimmy from Philly. Wiped. Anyway, JMK's in the house. Nice to see you. Let's see. Am I missing anybody yet? I got JMK. Man, the gang is all here. Jedi Ghost Bear's in the house. Emma Tundoba is the bot of the day who's getting the yeet. Goodbye. Unwanted commercial content or whatever that means. You are out of here. Thank you, baby. And I said Jedi Ghost Bears and Duck Dog. People are rolling in slowly. Do me a favor. If you like what we do, hit the like button sometime in the show. Share the stream before, during, and after the stream. And if you want to sponsor the show, I already told you how. You could go down there or there or way down there, there's something. Well, that's not what I meant. In the description down below, there's other ways you can sponsor the show. Jaeger Pony's in the house. Rod Lyons in the house. Jaeger Pony, obviously my favorite Canadian. Fantastic. And you got to yell, wiped. Yes, you do. All right. Oh, and Zach Alpaca's in the house, too. So the gang is rolling in at a breakneck pace. What did I say? Breakneck pace. So, all right. Let's get into the show because, well, first let me give you a couple news items because there are a couple of news items I think that need to be brought to your attention that I just caught as I was prepping for the show this morning. Let me just talk about, there's an economic indicator that came out this morning that a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people, yes, a lot of people are talking about it. Why are you so angry? Is in the house. Nice to see you. Wait, Matthew 6 is awesome. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, the economy. Let's talk about the economy because there is a, well, let me preface this with something that Joe Biden said the other day about the economy because I think this is important, and I'm going to read his words. And let's see. This was he had an economic speech the other day. I can't remember what day it was, but this was right after he was, and for whatever reason, this is a speech about economics, but then he went into this little thing about the economy. Well, it was supposed to be, he went into some stuff about the vagine, the vacation. For those of you who don't know code, you can tap that out in the chat. Good morning, Don Julio. What's up, my brother? He said something about the vacations and the the remix and all that stuff. But then he went back into the economy and he said these words. We also know that our economy has come roaring back. We've seen some price increases. Some folks have raised worries that this could be a sign of persistent inflation, but that's not our view. Our experts believe the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and expected to be temporary. The reality is you can't flip the global economic light back on and not expect this to happen. As demand returns, there's going to be a global supply chain challenges. What we've seen in the semiconductors, which are used in automobiles, or we've seen that in semiconductors, which are used in automobiles. That global shortage has slowed vehicle production, creating temporary spike in car prices. That's a real challenge, and my administration is doing everything we can to address it. But again, these disruptions are temporary. Lumber prices are another example. They've spiked early in our recovery, but in recent weeks they began to fall. They've fallen by more than 50%. Have they? I'm not so sure. Hi, Maddie. And JMK too. In the hospitality industry, prices are returning to where they used to be. Economists call these things transitory effects, and they account for about 60% of the price increases we've seen over the last few months. Now, I want to be clear. My administration understands that if we were to ever experience unchecked inflation over the long term, that would pose a real challenge to our economy. So while we're confident that isn't what we are seeing today, we're going to remain vigilant about any response that is needed. Then he went on talking about something he said to Chairman Powell and blah, 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 blah. So those were his words. And so today, I was treated to this as I popped onto the Twitter space today. Consumer prices have soared 7% in the past year, most since 1982. The highest inflation we have seen since 1982. Washington, prices paid by U.S. consumers jumped 7% in December from a year earlier, the highest inflation rate since 1982, and the latest evidence that rising costs for food, rent, and other necessities are heightening the financial pressure on America's households. Inflation has spiked during the recovery from the what do you call it? The pandemonium. Good morning, Canada Hotep. In fact, who told me that's what that's called? Good morning, salute to you, sir. Inflation has spiked during the recovery from the pandemonium recession, as Americans have ramped up spending on goods such as cars, furniture, and appliances. Those increased prices have clogged ports and warehouses and exacerbated supply shortages of semiconductors and other parts. Wow, it sounds like they just wrote that out of Biden's speech. And, anyway, gas prices have also surged. Here's why. In part because Americans have driven more in recent months after having cut back on travel and commuting earlier in the pandemic. Now, I could have sworn that part of the thing with the gas prices is that the supply has been lower because we had the thing that said that we couldn't, there's some pipeline issues and shit like that. But, this is the AP covering for Brandon. And so that's how the AP does it. They'll tell you that, because people are driving more. Well, yeah, are they driving more? Because are people driving more since the pandemic? Maybe. Are people going back to work and they're driving more? Well, they're driving more a little bit, sure, but didn't the problem with the supply, because didn't the Biden administration say, well, we need OPEC to start pumping out more oil? Wait a minute, didn't we used to be energy independent? I could have sworn we were exporting more energy than we were importing, and yet that happened didn't the Biden administration have something to do with that? I don't know. It seems like maybe that was, okay, you guys can tell me in the chat. I don't remember. But anyway, so rising prices have wiped out the healthy pay increases that many Americans have been receiving, making it harder for households, especially low-income families, to afford basic expenses. Polls show that inflation has started displacing even the stupid 19 as a public concern, making clear the political threat it poses to President Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Yes, that's why this is important, because this is posing a political threat to the president and Democrats. Okay. And apparently Joe Powell testified about that, Jerome Powell, excuse me, and whatever. They're talking about having rate hikes and inflation and all that shit too. So, well, there you go. That's okay. That's the good news. Well, I'm going to go to this town hall article too. But before I do that, thank you, Maddie. Maddie sponsored the show on Streamlabs, and Maddie,
you are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you, Maddie, who says, Biden is so oblivious, he wouldn't see a problem if it was drawn out in crayon and broken down into hooked on phonics. Yes, I think you got a point there. And thankfully the point's not between my ears. So anyway, I don't know what that meant. That was weird. What did I just say there? Anyway, all right. So that's, and in fact, let's see. Let's listen. Is this Biden right here? Oh no, this is, this was a tweet by Kevin McCarthy. This is kind of this little, this is a graphic here. Oh wait, there we go. Here's the oh, stop. Wait, no, that's not it. This is a graphic that was, here we go. There we go. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, here, you get to see it again. Here's the graphic on Twitter that Kevin McCarthy put on. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican. See, now that's 2021 Consumer Price Index. It's just going up and up and up and up. Whew, 40-year high. 40-year high. That's kind of like, there's a Snoop Dogg joke in there somewhere. But anyway. Richo, what's up? My friend from Down Under's in the house. Nice to see him, but my man, easy for me to say. All right. So anyway, I was going to read the town hall article, but I'm just going to leave it in the chat because I really don't want to talk. I got other things I really want to get to today. But one of the things he said, he said the words, I want to remind you these words. That's where he said, there's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. No serious economists, which means no nobody that Joe Biden knows, because he, all the serious economists always agree with Joe Biden. Go figure. Zach to the future. Good morning. How you doing? All right. Let's get into really what I want to talk about today, though, because, what is it? Was it Monday? It must have been last Thursday and Friday. I was talking about a gentleman named Ray Epps. Do you recognize that name? Do you recognize the name Ray Epps? Because yesterday, while we were watching the Senate Healthcare or something committee and Dr. Fauci, avoiding some pointed questions about some emails he sent, and I don't want to get into Fauci's emails. They're going to, all the Republicans ever care about his emails. But, Fauci said some specific things in there. Let's just go back away from that and get into the other committee, which I believe, I don't know if it was the intelligence, it was a committee hearing in which Ted Cruz asked some very poignant questions to the committee. And so, and here's an article, Ted Cruz grills FBI on Ray Epps. And I'm like, Ray Epps, I know that name because I've been talking about, a lot of people have been talking about him, everybody except for the January 6th committee and the media, because the media pretend they don't even know who he is. But, we went through that whole expose that was on, was it Revolver? Whatever that media was that we found it. I don't think it's Revolver. But anyway, the whole story of Ray Epps and how he was, he was trying to get people to go into the Capitol. Not to the Capitol, but into the Capitol. And he said it multiple times to multiple people on the day before the worst day since Pearl Harbor and 9/11. And then he was trying to get people to go into the Capitol, not to the Capitol, into the Capitol, right? And he's imploring people in all these little different groups on the 5th. And then on the 6th, he was telling people at the ellipse we need to go into the Capitol. And then he got down there. He was with the first group that went down there, and they, he started whispering to some guy, and then the guy started breaking through barricades. And then he also told the guy, because he was instructing these people what to do, right? He even told the guy, you might want to take that off because, you don't want to get shot. He was talking about the guy had some bear spray or some shit with him. And he was telling people to, and amazingly, Ray Epps isn't in jail right now. And they got video of him doing all this stuff, but he's not in jail. And so there were questions about him, right? Well, Ted Cruz yesterday Ted Cruz on Tuesday. Oh, by the way, good morning to someone else just showed up. Who else got here? Oh, my scrolling thing's not working. This thing is driving me nuts. There's something wrong with my mouse. All right, let me see if I can get this to scroll. Okay, something's wrong. Okay, there we try it again. Well, it's not working. There it goes. Who just showed up? Zablay's in the house. I knew I saw another name. And also Robert Chalk, what's up? Ted Cruz tried to cover for putting both feet in his mouth the other day. Well, you know what? And someone else said that earlier, and I said, great. Great. Take care of that, because that shoe leather's got to start tasting weird after a while, after he put his foot in his mouth. So good. He decided to bring out the toothbrush in his Senate hearing. That's fantastic. I'm glad he did that. So, Ted Cruz on Tuesday grilled a top FBI official on whether Bureau informants were present at the January 6th riot, zeroing in on a man named Ray Epps. Jill Sanborn, the FBI's executive assistant director for National Security Branch, refused to answer key questions, saying she could not disclose sources and methods. Wait a minute. Now, let's just start. Well, I think we'll watch. Yeah, we got the video. Let me ask you something. So he asked, let's watch the video. Let's watch the video because this is fascinating. And it's only a 3-minute long video, so we'll go through it because some things popped into my head as I was watching this video, and hopefully they'll pop into my head again as we watch it together. So here we go. Let's just put this on the screen.
Turn to the FBI.
Oh, that's a blurry video.
How many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th?
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Stop. So now, by the way, there's this weird beep whenever she chirps in, and then there's also some echoing and stuff. That's all of the video. But let's stop with that answer right there. Let's stop with that answer right there, because we already know that there were, in fact, FBI agents on the ground there on January 6th. They've already admitted that, right? But she's like, I can't answer that about sources and methods. So this if this is sources and methods, then you're clearly saying that yes, there was something, we were using some sources and methods, right? She's already admitting there are sources and methods. All right.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Yeah, they don't know how to use headphones. That's the problem. Okay.
Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Did any?
So if it were no, you could answer no. So I can't answer that. Yeah, likely yes. Okay, keep going.
FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
I can't answer that. Now, can you answer it because you don't know, or you're not sure? Anyway.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, I can't answer that.
Ms. Sadburn?
Why are you here then? If you can't answer these questions. Okay, whatever. And here's the thing. I don't know. Oh, never mind. I don't know what I don't know. The FBI is a terrorist organization. Well, I think they're a manipulative organization. But anyway.
Who is Ray Epps?
Who is Ray Epps?
I'm aware of the individual, sir. I don't have the specific background to him.
Really? You don't have the specific background of him. You knew you were coming to this hearing, right? And she asked, who is Ray Epps? And you know of the individual, but you don't know a specific how is it that some reporter at Revolver, whatever the hell that magazine's called, could have a specific background of him? How could we know that he was in videos all on January 5th and January 6th, and she just doesn't know any background about him? How can we know even what city in Arizona he lives in, and she not know anything about him? A key player on their wanted list, right? He started out on their wanted list. He was number 16 on the wanted list. And she just doesn't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there are a lot of people who are understandably very concerned about Mr. Epps. On the night of January 5th, 2021, Epps wandered around the crowd that had gathered. And there's video out there of him chanting, "Tomorrow, we need to get into the Capitol, into the Capitol." This was strange behavior, so strange that the crowd began chanting, "Fed, Fed, 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 Fed." Ms. Sandburn, was Ray Epps a Fed?
Sorry, let me try to get this louder.
Sir, I cannot answer that question.
There you go.
The next day, on January 6th, Mr. Epps is seen whispering to a person, and
Hopefully that's better.
5 seconds after he's whispering to a person, that same person begins to forcibly tear down the barricades.
Nothing suspicious. Now, come on. Come on, Ted. You know there's nothing suspicious about that. Hey, Advocate Diablo, good morning. How are you? Come on. How can you not? That means nothing. He was just trying to see if he could get a Tic Tac.
To tear down the barricades.
Sir, similar to the other answers, I cannot answer that.
Oh. Well, yeah. Well, wait a minute. Wait. What was the question? And let's listen to his question again, because there's something wrong with her answer here. I think.
5 seconds later, 5 seconds after he's whispering to a person,
Hey, check
that
logic.
same person begins to forcibly tear down the barricades. Did Mr. Epps urge them to tear down the barricades?
Did Mr. Epps urge them to tear down the barricades? You know, it's funny too. There was only 2 cops there, and then like one of them got knocked to the ground, and then they just kind of left it be. Like no reinforcements came to that spot. It's the only spot they were trying to get in. There were so this fencing was all around the Capitol building, and there's like 3 different sidewalks that lead up, or 3 or 4 different entrances that lead up to the Capitol. But this particular entrance just happened to be the one that was the best path from where the ellipse a mile and whatever away, where people would be coming to the Capitol to protest there. And they were going to protest outside these barricades, right? They weren't even going to go past the barricades. But when they got there, this particular barricade down the path was completely cleared by then. Like it was just gone. These guys, this first little group came through and they pushed the cops away, and then they pushed their way in, and then everyone's gone. They pushed the barricades off to the side, and none of the cops tried to come back and reinforce that point. And it was the only point that they came in at. That's convenient. Anyway.
Sir, similar to the other answers, I cannot answer that.
So the question was, did he tell him to go move those barricades? And she's saying, instead of saying, I don't know, there's no way for me to know that, she's like, there's something I can't answer. Thank you. Ronald Reagan. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, sir. So generous of you to sponsor the show today. Ronald Gipper Reagan with a bullet. Oh no, yeah, big bullet. Said, if the FBI were smart, they would have thrown Epps under the bus and made sure that it backed over him. Well, you know, there is. I've seen it a couple times. By the way, thank you for sponsoring the show, Ronald Reagan. Salute to you, sir. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. There has been suggestions that Ray Epps didn't kill himself. I've been seeing a couple of people mention that today, and we'll see. Hopefully, you know, there's just some preemptive hashtagging, I guess. All right, next question.
Shortly thereafter, the FBI put out a public post seeking information on individuals connected with violent crimes.
Yeah, this
on
is
January
that
6th.
list,
Among
right?
those individuals, in the bottom there is Mr. Epps. The
Right
FBI
there.
publicly
There he is.
asked for information.
Number 16.
Offering
Number
cash
16.
rewards leading to information leading to the arrest. This was posted, and then sometime later,
Why was he removed? Oh,
magically,
God.
Mr. Epps
Now, you know what?
disappeared from the
I got to tell you. Do you see this graphic he's using? Do you recognize these graphics? Those are directly from the article we went through the other day. These are the graphic directly from the article. And there he is. He's gone. Why would they remove him?
public posting. According to public records, Mr. Epps has not been charged with anything. No one's explained why a person videoed urging people to go to the Capitol, a person whose conduct was so suspect the crowd believed he was a Fed, would magically disappear from the list of people the FBI was looking at. Ms. Sandburn, a lot of Americans are concerned that the federal government deliberately encouraged illegal and violent conduct on January 6th. My question to you, and this is not an ordinary law enforcement question, this is a question about public
I think she has an answer for this question.
Did federal agents or those in service of federal agent actively encourage violent and criminal conduct on January 6th?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
Not to my knowledge. Okay, she answers that, but she can't answer any other questions. All right, fan-fucking-tastic. Okay, so, good Lord. So anyway, so that's Ted Cruz yesterday. And I know it could be just Ted Cruz trying to redeem himself and shit, but she said that she was familiar with Epps, could not answer Cruz's questions about whether he was an FBI agent. Sandburn also noted that she did not have the specific background on him, which is amazing. Now, Senator Tom Cotton also followed up after Cruz and questioned Assistant Attorney General Matthew Olson during Tuesday's hearing, and Cotton asked if the FBI had any plainclothes officers in the crowd of rioters at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Olson said he did not know the answer to that question. And I wish, do they have that one? This is actually pretty good too. Let's watch this one because this is funny. There's great humor to be had in this particular.
Mr. Olson,
questioning.
On July 28, 2020, you signed a public letter
Rock opera, what's
attacking
happening?
the Trump administration for using Department of Homeland Security officers to help protect the federal courthouse in Portland from violent rioters.
Nice to see you too.
That letter stated, quote, plainclothes officers and unmarked vehicles should be used only in limited capacities and clearly identified circumstances. Crowd control is not among those circumstances. Mr. Olson, on January 6, 2021, did the Department of Justice or FBI have any plainclothes officers among the crowd at the Capitol?
Senator, I'm not aware of whether or not there were plainclothes officers in among the crowd.
You're not aware?
At the Capitol on July 6th.
What?
January 6th.
How would you
Did
not know?
any plainclothes officers enter the Capitol on January 6th?
I don't know the answer to that, Senator.
Mr. Olson, I got to say your answers to many questions today are disappointing because they boil down to essentially, I don't know. Did you prepare for this hearing? Did you know this hearing was happening before this morning?
New feline overlord. Hey, Straight at the mail. Wait, Tyre, does that mean you're getting a cat? Oh, to replace your old one. I'm not sure what that means. Are you saying you're getting a cat? Just curious.
The direct answer, yes, I
I'm sorry. I kind of stepped over this question. This is
Did
actually.
you know this hearing was happening before this morning?
And it takes him a long time to answer this. Oh, maybe he forgot to hit the button.
The direct answer, yes, I prepared extensively, Senator.
You prepared extensively for this.
Specific,
wow. Hello, Piccolo.
Facts that I don't have.
I mean, what was the
I do think that one of the most important points that I would emphasize is, it's against a general matter. It's not appropriate to comment on ongoing investigations.
Well, I didn't
why are
ask
you
you about an
testifying?
ongoing investigation. I just flipped to the cover of my binder here. It says the title of this hearing is the domestic terrorism threat 1 year after January 6th. The Attorney General has repeatedly said this is one of the department's highest priority. You're testifying at a hearing about the domestic terrorism threat 1 year after January 6th, and you can't answer questions about how many people have been charged for events arising out of January 6th. Would you go into a briefing with the Attorney General, your boss, and not be able to answer such basic questions?
On the last question you asked, Senator, over 700 people have been charged in connection with January 6th. Okay. About 325 have been charged with serious felonies.
Now that's funny because Tom Cotton didn't ask that question. I think Ted Cruz asked that question like way earlier in the hearing, but now he's answering the question now. I think Tom Cotton even makes this
connection
point.
With attacks on the
10 minutes ago, Senator Cruz asked you this series of questions, and you didn't have the answer. You didn't have the answer for how many people have been charged with violent offenses or nonviolent offenses, and so on and so forth. Have you been given the answer in the last 10 minutes?
I'm sorry if I misunderstood, Senator, but I believe that Senator Cruz was asking me about other events, not the January 6th event.
Congratulations, Tyre.
Okay, let's turn to another issue that came up.
Wait, does he talk
earlier
about Ray
today?
Epps?
Ray Epps.
Yeah, here we go. Here's
during
the
the January 6th riots last year, Mr. Epps was caught on video several times. He seemed to encourage people to enter the Capitol to break down police barriers. Video from the rallies, or from the rally down the National Mall early that day shows him doing the same thing. Video even from the night before shows him encouraging people to enter the Capitol. Ray Epps lives in Arizona. He didn't exactly go underground after January 6th. He even gave an interview to local media, and he was well known to the Department of Justice. He was on the FBI's Capitol Riot Most Wanted page just days after January 6th.
But he disappeared.
In fact, he was one of the first 16 suspects added to that Most Wanted page on your website. It does not appear that he's been arrested or charged in any offense. In July, without explanation, he was removed from the FBI's most wanted page. Mr. Olson, who is Ray Epps, and why was he removed from the FBI's most wanted list?
Now, here's the thing. They should be able to answer this question. If he was removed from the list, you'd think he'd be removed from a list because, oh yeah, we mistakenly put him on the list, or give some bullshit answer. But he gives a different bullshit answer.
Senator, I don't have any information about that individual. I would defer to Ms. Sanborn for any additional.
So this it gets back to what I meant earlier, like asking if you're prepared for this hearing. You're the Assistant Attorney General for National Security. You run the National Security Division. The department has said that these January 6 prosecutions are one of their highest priorities.
You'd have no information on someone who was number 16 on the most wanted list from that day? None? You should have a binder full of people like that. But, oh, wait, he's not on the list anymore. So why would I even think about this guy?
This is a man who was on the most wanted page for 6 months. Do you really expect us to believe that you've never heard of the name Ray Epps or you don't know anything about him?
I simply don't have any information at all, Senator, about that individual.
What other suspect?
Wait, look at his eyes when he says that. He doesn't look to the left or right, but look at how his eyes squint a little bit here. Hello, Fat Joe.
What other suspects on the most wanted page do you know nothing about?
Hang on.
At all.
Here's the answer.
I simply don't have any information at all, Senator, about that individual.
He squints it out a little bit.
What other
trying
suspects
so hard to
on the
make it
most
look
wanted
like he's not lying.
Page do you know nothing about?
That's hilarious.
Senator,
let me ask you this: can you name anyone else on the Department of Justice's most wanted page?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear your question.
Can you name anyone else on the Department of Justice's most wanted page from the January 6th riots?
I'm not familiar with the most wanted page. No, I'm not familiar with that.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to have to seek our answers elsewhere. But
oh my God,
this has not been a stellar performance today.
Okay, so good job, Tom Cotton. So anyway, let's get into how this is being covered in the media, because you know how the media loves a good controversy. They love to talk about things that are important. And you know, you would think that someone who is possibly involved in the the insurrection, you'd think that the media would be covering this guy. This guy was trying to get people to go into the Capitol building. This guy was right there when they breached the first, barriers to the Capitol, the fence and gate and whatever, all that shit. And he was whispering to guys, and as soon as he got done whispering, the guy jumped over there and they instructed people, hey, no, you might want to take that off so you don't get shot. Which makes me wonder how he knows that having that on your vest would get you shot. He was leading people in that group, but no, he was on the most wanted list, and they take him off the most wanted list. And nobody in the media after that. You'd think after that Revolver article that for sure, someone else in the media would pick it up and try to maybe interview Ray Epps. Nope, they want nothing to do with him, and that's because when you go onto Twitter, first of all, let me open it. I'm going to open another, because I want to make sure that when I put out the tabs today, all of the tabs are going to be in the links today. So if you're not familiar with the show, or if you're new here, every time I do one of these shows, if I have a tab open on the internet that has the article or whatever we're doing, after the show, during the outro, I will put these all into a single link in the description down below. So in the second paragraph of the description, it says, all the stories that we did today are found here, and there will be a link where you will have all those links listed on one single internet page with hyperlinks. So you'll be able to find anything we went through today. And so I'm making sure that each one of these tweets, even whether you're on Twitter or not, you can find these again. So, excuse me. So I go on Twitter, right? You know me, I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and here's my my Twitter page thing when you go open up Twitter in the home page, and up in the upper right-hand corner, now you haven't heard jack about Ray Epps until the last couple of days, at least from Twitter or the media, right? But all of a sudden, in the upper right-hand corner, right here, oh, look at this, under the what's happening, Ray Epps is on here. Now, when you click that, you get this page. Oh, they changed it. Before it was, oh, I see. They've added some text to this now. So now, here it is from U.S. National News last night. Hello, Data Wasteland. Last night, Ray Epps testified that he is not an informant or working for the FBI, the January 6th committee says. Oh, really? Really? He says he's not? Oh, fantastic. They've talked to him. He said he's not an informant or working for the FBI. Well, God dang it, I'm so glad we cleared that up. Let me read this. U.S. House Select Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol says Ray Epps testified that he is not an FBI informant and has not worked for any law enforcement agency. Oh, fact checkers, fantastic! Fact checkers from SNOOP and PolitiFact, the most trustworthy names in fact checking on the planet. I'm sure the Washington Post will also have their fact checkers talk about it. The fact checkers from PolitiFact and SNOOP report there is no evidence that Epps is connected to any law enforcement agency. Fan-fucking-tastic! Great job, Snopes. Great job. Oh, it continues. PolitiFact, you know, they're so good. They're such a great fact-checking organization. One of the best ever. They are one of the most nonpartisan, beautifully, perfectly pristine fact-checking agencies on the planet. They report there is, oh, no, they both did. According to Snopes, not that we've already seen the footage and it's not all over the internet, but according to Snopes, available footage shows Epps was in attendance at the January 6, 2021 rally, but there's no current evidence that he had entered the Capitol or engaged in violence. The FBI's investigation into the 2021 event is currently ongoing. Now, thank goodness, because like I said this morning, leave Ray Epps alone. Leave him alone. And here it is. Oh, now the New York Times is talking about, oh my gosh, and the New York Times comes out with an article today. January 6th panel seeks to debunk unfounded theory about FBI role in, here, let's see what this says. So let's open this one up because we'll leave this one open too. We might have to do an archive version. Oh wait, might be my first article in January. Well, I'm still going to do an archive version because, you know, these things tend to fly away. Let me just take care of that and we'll go back to, let's see. Yes, somebody did already argue this. January 6th panel seeks to debunk unfounded theory about FBI role in riot. Well, you know what, it'd be a good start. Maybe we can see what the Ray Epps' role in the riot was. The House Select Committee investigating the attack on the Capitol interviewed Ray Epps, a protester at the center of a right-wing conspiracy theory. Oh my God, this is a conspiracy theory. You know what conspiracy theory is, right? Well, when a conspiracy theory turns 6 months old, it turns into a fact that they come back and confirm. But anyway, now I have to laugh because look, do I have oh no, I need to restore that. What the hell did I just do? Restore. restore open. There we go. Restore closed tab. Let me just show you. Now, you know who Adam Kinzinger is, right? I'm going to show you this first because before I go to the New York Times article, Adam Kinzinger is one of the two Republicans on that committee, right? It's Liz Cheney. Everybody loves Liz Cheney, and everybody loves Adam Kinzinger. And he is such, he's so, I trust him about everything nowadays because, he's just, that guy. He's that guy. Well, Adam Kinzinger, that's a Ray Epps thread. Look at this. He's on the committee, and he has a Ray Epps thread. Okay? By the way, the January 6th committee tweeted about this too. I'll show you that in a minute. Here's his Ray Epps thread, okay? And he says, he starts it with this because, it's always good to, it's always good to ridicule people that you're trying to convince when they think something that they've seen with their own eyes might or possibly could be true in a way they think it is, and after they've seen it with their own eyes on video evidence, but then you want to debunk it by just saying, I know this will break some hearts. For a few months, people are like, Tucker Carlson, MTG, Matt Gaetz, and now Ted Cruz have been just asking questions about a man named Ray Epps, a man that we've all seen on video doing what he did, right? We've all seen it. It's like, now, somebody mentioned gaslighting earlier in the chat. This may be a case of classic gaslighting. Hello, Snoopy. What's up? So, man named Ray Epps. A man named Ray Epps. He was on video the day before January 6th saying, quote, we are going into the Capitol. Some in the crowd chanted, Fed, Fed, Fed. Why? Well, who knows? Maybe they knew he was videoed talking about breaking into the Capitol the day before it was to happen and wanted to create distance. Oh my gosh, that's what an amazing theory. You know what? I'm pretty sure that's it. Again, here's what he said again. I'm going to repeat that because you want to hear what he said. He said, why were they, because he's answering the question, why were they chanting Fed when he was yelling, we are going into the Capitol? Here's his answer again. Who knows? Maybe they knew he was videoed talking about breaking into the Capitol the day before it was to happen and wanted to create distance. Oh, I get it. So they were all planning on breaking into the Capitol anyway, and then this guy is like blowing their cover, right? Is that what it? Okay, what a fuckhead. Anyway, he continues. Regardless, he was put on the FBI wanted list, then removed because of all that. The conspiracy that he was an FBI agent has been gospel to the blogs and shows. Side note, this is why we have to address conspiracies, not ignore them. Oh, really? Because the media's ignored them. They've ignored this. They have ignored it because his name really hasn't been on, the public mind until Ted Cruz did it in a hearing, right? But now we're all scrambling to figure out how we're going to talk about this. We're all getting out the talking points and the way we can tell you that what you saw is not really what you saw. Anyway, he continues. He didn't enter the Capitol on January 6th and was removed from the most wanted list because apparently he broke no laws. I'm pretty sure the FBI wouldn't be dumb enough to put their own agent on a wanted list. Ray Epps has cooperated with the January 6th committee, and we thank him. What? Wait a minute. When did he cooperate with the January 6th committee? When was that? Because we've been asking about him for weeks now, and you haven't said bumpus. And also, here's the other thing. I'm wondering, so how many people on the January 6th wanted list who were at the Capitol that day? They were there because we know he was there. In fact, we know he crossed over that barrier. There's a fact. There's video evidence, right? How? But he apparently broke no laws. Well, wait a minute. Aren't you trying to say that the President of the United States, Rudy Giuliani, a bunch of Congress critters and whatnot, that they incited an insurrection? They incited people to go and break the law? Is that? But even though, especially the president, the guy with the funny hair, he said, yeah, we're going to go over the Capitol and peacefully let our voices be heard. Peacefully. He said the word peacefully. This guy said, we need to go into the Capitol, into the Capitol. He was trying to get people to go in, and then he whispered to the guy, and they broke the barriers and all that shit. He didn't. You're saying that this guy inciting illegal activity is not breaking the law, but people who said to go and peacefully protest and use your First Amendment rights to let the people make some noise and shit, that isn't? That is breaking a law? What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, and then he said, now also, I'm pretty sure the FBI wouldn't be dumb enough to put their own agent on the want list. Are you so sure about that? Are you so sure about the FBI isn't that dumb? Because I know for a fact the FBI used a fake dossier to get a FISA warrant and got busted, right? That was pretty dumb. You knew you were going to... Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on now. So anyway, he continues. On a broad... He's writing some fan fiction. He's writing his own conspiracy theory here, but let's here it is. On the broader issue, let's say Ray was an agent. Now, okay, and also remember, here's the other thing. Notice how he is very specific. He's very because he said that they were saying he's an FBI agent. No, not necessarily. Maybe a FBI asset, informant. Something he had. Come on, this dude was out there with a plan, a purpose. But anyway, on the broader issue, let's say Ray was an agent. He is not. Leave in capital letters. He is not. Leave Ray Epps alone. Remember that guy, the Leave Britney Alone dude. Remember that dude? That's where we're at right now. Leave Ray Epps alone. The premise is that one agent can gin up a crowd to insurrection. Is anyone claiming that? Like you've never look, Adam. I think you're a veteran or something, and you also know about. Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force. As if you've never heard of agent provocateurs. You've never heard of You've never heard of what was that? Look, what's my nickname for Ray Epps? Reichstag Ray. You've never heard of an op, okay? The glowing is glowing like it's never glowed before. You got, 400-watt headlamp glowing right now. But he is not an agent. The premise that one agent can gin up a crowd to insurrection, that isn't saying much about the intelligence of your voters, is it, Ted? Bitch, please. Oh, he said, the rioters had formal education, owned businesses, etc. They knew. Now remember, because most of the riot stuff, remember that most of that happened before the speech was even over. Remember that? A lot of that violence happened. So a lot of those people came down there and they were expected to come up to just a rally, and then everyone's up there all over the Capitol building, and some went inside and some didn't. And they've even arrested people who didn't go inside. They've arrested people who were outside, and they've charged them with trespassing. So the fact that they were beyond that barrier, everyone in there is supposedly trespassing, right? Because not 700 people didn't go inside the building, right? But they knew. Now, he continues, an FBI informant is someone that is paid by or turned by law enforcement as they build broader cases. Informants are usually criminals that turn to save their own butt. An informant is not an agent. Well, thank you for clearing that up. We didn't ask what an informant was, but Ted wants you to think it is. No, he specifically said agent or informant or anything that's related to the FBI. You don't have to be an agent to be related to the FBI or part of a project, so to speak. But Ted wants you to think it is. Ray is no informant either. Really? Because how do you know that? Oh, that's right. Because Ray said so. Fantastic. Fantastic. The FBI probably said so too. And you know what? Okay, fine. If he's not FBI, 18 USC 2101, incitement to riot only applies to us plebes. Yes, he was definitely breaking that law, but no. Adam Kinzinger says he broke no laws that day. He didn't do anything. He did do nothing. And then he finishes up, the narrative on January 6th has been that it's first Antifa. Well, there was an Antifa agent provocateur there. Or patriots who love their country. Yes, some of the people there were. Maybe crisis actors. I don't know about that, but some of them were acting all right. That Antifa guy was acting. He's kind of a little combination of those two. Deaf false flag operatives. Okay, you're kind of repeating yourself here. Are now FBI agents. Again, false flag operatives. Those all apply. False flag operatives, I mean, some of it was agent provocateurs. I think agent provocateur might be the best description. And again, some of the idiots went right along and didn't know any better. So they're kind of made their own bed, by following along. But again, anyway, take your pick. Truth is they were rioters incited by lies. Wait a minute. So now you're saying they were rioters incited by lies? I thought this was an insurrection, Representative Kinzinger. Why are you if they were just rioters and they're all getting their just due, incited by lies? And Ray is he continues again. And Ray is no Fed, just another misled man. Aww. Just another misled man. And while it may break hearts, it's true. So many were misled by so few. Just look up. Oh my gosh. Just Look Up. There's a movie. We watched that Just Look Up movie. Oh my God, talk about propaganda. But it was actually kind of funny too. But anyway, that's on Netflix if you're wondering what I'm talking about. So anyway, that's the thread by Adam Kinzinger. And then the January 6th committee actually tweeted something too. Did the New York Times to put their tweet on here? They didn't. Anyway, here's the New York Times article. Because they're just all now, it's all fact checkers and everything, They're not remember, fact checkers also fact checked the Steele dossier, right? They said, no, the Steele dossier was not paid for by the Clinton campaign and yada, it was all legit. Whoa, well, remember, a conspiracy theory that the Steele dossier was in fact bought by Hillary Clinton. That was a conspiracy theory until a year or two later, 3 years later, now it's like almost 4 or 5 years later. Now we know that it was paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign, and the only people being arrested about that whole Russiagate are people from Hillary Clinton's camp and supporters of them and whatnot. So anyway, the House Committee, the committee said investigators spoke in November. They spoke with in November with the man Ray Epps, who was seen on video urging people to march into the Capitol. Now, that's an interesting thing. Some Republicans in Congress, other supporters of former President Donald Trump, have promoted the theory that Mr. Epps was working for the FBI and encouraging the attack at its direction. As evidence, they've cited the fact that Mr. Epps was at one point listed on the Bureau's wanted list, but then was removed from it without being arrested or charged with any wrongdoing. In a statement, the House committee said that Mr. Epps told the panel he is not an FBI informant and was not working at the direction of law enforcement agencies when he encouraged protesters to enter the building. Here's the quote. Here's the quote. Hey, Zach Osborne, how you doing, brother? And also Retro Veteran Gamer, welcome. Quote, the select committee is aware of unsupported claims that Ray Epps was an FBI informant based on the fact that he was on the FBI wanted list and then removed from that list without being charged. Tim Mulvey, a spokesman for the House Committee, said in a statement. Oh, this is a statement. Quote, the select committee has interviewed Mr. Epps. Mr. Epps informed us that he was not employed by, working with, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency on January 5th or 6th or at any other time, and that he has never been an informant for the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. Well, I guess that's all we need to know. Thank you, Mr. Epps. You are free to go. That simple. He said he's not, you know what? He's not, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. I got questions here now. I have questions. She says that, he says he was not employed by, working with, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency on January 5th or January 6th or any other time that he's never been an informant for the FBI, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then why isn't he under arrest? Why isn't he under arrest for inciting a riot or inciting an insurrection or inciting anything? Why, if he's not part of the glowy, if he's not glowing like, some spent uranium, why isn't he rotting in jail right now? Just like the other people, some of whom maybe just went in the building and didn't do anything really bad, like or why hasn't he had an arraignment and been charged with trespassing and parading and paying big fines and spending 60 days in jail? Why? Why not? Anybody? Bueller? The Arizona Republic identified Mr. Epps last January as the man seen in viral internet videos urging Trump supporters to enter the Capitol. In one, he said, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested. I'll say it. We need to go into the Capitol. While it remains unclear why Mr. Epps was encouraging people to go into the building. Wait a minute. You're the New York Times. You wrote this article and you make a statement at the end of here. While it remains unclear why Mr. Epps was encouraging people to go into the building. Let me just stop there. Let me stop right there. How is it why is it unclear? Why is it unclear why he was encouraging people to go into the building? Does it need to be clear? And you are a news organization. This is the New York Times, the paper of record, the paper I know that they have people, what do they call those people who go and, they go and talk to people and ask people questions and they write shit down, and then they kind of organize it so that you could put it, on paper or in the internet or reporters. They have reporters, right? Have any of the New York Times reporters gone to Arizona? I'm sure there's somebody in Arizona that can contribute to the New York Times, right? Why is it that not a single person from the New York Times has gone down there and interviewed him and find out why Mr. Epps was encouraging people to go into the building? What? Oh, wait a minute. Even better yet. Hey, right up here in this part, it says, where is it? the committee said its investigators spoke in November with the man, Ray Epps. That's his name, Ray Epps, right? They spoke with him in November. But down here, it remains unclear why Mr. Epps was encouraging people to go into the building. Did the committee that talked to him in November, did they bother asking him in that question? Hey, Mr. Epps, you say that you are not, you've never been an informant of the FBI or any other law enforcement agency. Hey, just pull a Columbo. If you know what Columbo is, put a 1 in the chat. Pull a Columbo. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? I just remembered one question. Why exactly were you encouraging people to go into the building? Now, and then here's the next sentence, because they say, while it remains unclear, Mr. Epps was encouraging people to go into the building. A person cannot be charged with incitement unless his statements present an imminent threat of unlawful action. Now, that is fascinating, because aren't they trying to claim that the people who were at the rally 1.5 miles away incited a riot? Isn't that what they said? Isn't that what they keep saying? They keep saying, oh, the big lie is why this happened, right? But wait a minute. You cannot be, the New York Times, a person cannot be charged with incitement unless his statements present an imminent threat of unlawful action. Oh, that's why they keep calling it insurrection, because an insurrection would have to be planned out, but they haven't found anyone planning out an insurrection. But they have, some people describe this as a riot, but wait a minute, but he was there at the ellipse on dragging people away while the speakers were still speaking and saying, hey, we need to go into the Capitol. And then what happened is that they got to the place where the barriers were there, and he's talking about the barrier, and they whispers to the guy, and the guy actually breaks the barriers, pushes the police back, and then they somehow get the barriers pushed aside. They just open it up, okay? And then he's like, you need to go into the Capitol. Wait a minute, that seems like very imminent. And remember, those barriers, right? The barriers that they put all the way around the Capitol building, didn't want people getting close to the Capitol building. Those barriers, it said, there was big old signs that said, this area is restricted, right? So didn't he encourage people to go into that restricted area? And he was in the restricted area with them, right? But he cannot be charged with incitement. Wow. I don't think I understand. I just don't. This is crazy. Makes her said incitement has nothing to do with one's own criminal action. It's about other people's action in relation to your words. Well, yeah, this is insanity. So, oh, that's her. That's him. I had another. Someone else was talking about this. So anyway, yeah, what the ever loving hell? Now, there's a good article in PJ Media today regarding this. If the FBI was not involved in inciting violence on January 6th, wouldn't they just say so? Like, why would you say? Well, anyway, Ted Cruz may have read some of the most, or some widely, may have read some of the widely deserved criticism a bunch of us have been hurling at him, because he appears to be trying to get to the bottom of the FBI's involvement in the January 6th riots. Appears is an important word here, because most likely no action will follow his eloquent questioning. Right? So he interrogated the FBI Assistant Director of the National Security Branch, Jill Sanborn, about the role the FBI played. Her responses do not inspire confidence that the federal government wasn't inciting violence that day. Quote, how many FBI agents or confidential informants actively participated in the events of January 6th? Asked Cruz, as we saw that. Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods. What a stupid answer. Replied Sandberg. Cruz then asked Sanborn if the FBI participated and demanded she answer yes or no. I can't answer that, she replied. Cruz continued, did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th? Sanborn again replied, I can't answer that. What? Each time Cruz tried to nail down the FBI's involvement, Sanborn dodged with a refusal to answer. If the FBI was not involved, wouldn't they say so? What is the purpose of saying, I can't answer that, if not to cover up for whatever they did that day? And why can't they be forced to show senators the files of their informants? Isn't that something our senators are entitled to see? Cruz went on to ask several questions about Ray Epps, the man who was filmed multiple times on the day of the riot, encouraging others to commit violence and break through police barriers. Break through police barriers. Imminent? Remember they said something about an imminent illegal action? I'm thinking that breaking through the police barriers was an imminent action. The FBI put out a public post seeking information on individuals connected with violent crimes on January 6th. Among the individuals is Mr. Epps, Cruz said. Sometimes later, magically, Mr. Epps disappeared from the public posting. According to public records, Mr. Epps has not been charged with anything. No one has explained why a person videoed urging people to go into the Capitol. A person whose conduct was so suspect the crowd believed he was a Fed would magically disappear from a list of people the FBI was looking at, Cruz argued. Ms. Sanborn, a lot of Americans are concerned that the federal government deliberately encouraged illegal and violent conduct on January 6th. Cruz did not let up on Sanborn demanding she respond. This is a question of public accountability. Did federal agents or those in the service of federal agencies act? No, notice, because remember Kinzinger said that he wasn't an FBI agent? Oh, did federal agents or those in the service of federal agencies, I think that doesn't mean just FBI agents, actively encourage violent and criminal conduct on January 6th? Not to my knowledge, sir, replied Sanborn, finally denying criminal behavior by the FBI after saying at least 6 times she could not answer the question. Well, now the mainstream press is out in force today trying to debunk, aka fact checkers, the idea that the feds were involved. In response, Julie Kelly has put together a great thread of the evidence that points to federal agents. Let's see if I can put that one. Okay, I'll open that one there. We'll go into it in a second because that'll be how we're going to finish today. Put together a great thread of the evidence that points to federal agents inside the crowd. Kelly raises questions that should be answered by the FBI, such as, why did police allow 300 people to walk into the Capitol and never tell them that the building was closed or off limits? And why is the founder of the 3 Percenters, whose members were many of those arrested on January 6th, named Steve Robeson, who was also connected to the FBI, concocted a plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer? The New York Times already outed 2 FBI informants who were embedded with the Proud Boys when the first breach of the perimeter happened. So there goes the we can't find that. We can't answer that strategy. The New York Times already did. Duh. Kelly also pointed out these guys who have not been identified and are very sus, wearing earpieces at the protest. Here it is right here. So Baseball Crank denied, this is Julie Kelly, who's at American Greatness and doing great work on this. You should follow her on Twitter. She is, she's been prolific as far as this particular story goes. So Baseball Crank denies Fed involvement in J6 and suggests the only reason I conclude J6 was an inside job is to sell books. Since Dan has done zero reporting, that's Baseball Crank is Dan, I will offer a few examples of how cops, agitators incited the crowd and let protesters into the building. Surveillance video unsealed in Ethan Norden's case shows U.S. Capitol Police allowing at least 300 people into the building that afternoon. No one arrested here. No one warned the building was closed. No one told them the building was closed. So there's one article. I'll even open that link and have that one open for you. The FBI opened Operation Cold Snap in early 2020 to infiltrate militia groups. This led to FBI concocted caper to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, which presumably Baseball Crank thinks is a legit FBI mission that thwarted the plot. DOJ ties Whitmer and J6 together. We'll just open that one too. New York Times confirmed at least 2 informants with the Proud Boys on January 6th when first breach of the perimeter occurred before 1 p.m. We'll just open all these. You can look at them all, or you could just click them in the links here. But I'm putting them in the links in the tabs because some of you are not Twitter folks, and I just save you to just let you go straight to the articles. Also, perhaps he can explain the guys in the neon hats with earpieces among the Proud Boys who haven't been charged. Yeah, that's the other thing. These guys, the neon orange hats, earpieces, yeah, who were they? Also, Newsweek just confirmed the FBI had elite forces stationed at Quantico the week before January 6th, and hundreds of agents were deployed to the Capitol on the morning of January 6th and entered the building with the first set of protesters. Who were they and what did they do? I'm just going to open all these links. Since Dan is a lawyer, I'm sure he has a good legal explanation as to why person one in every Oath Keeper indictment who was at the Capitol on January 6th still hasn't been charged even with trespassing, while at least 20 Oath Keepers face criminal charges. That'd be Stuart Rhodes. And there's plenty more, but I'll end with this for now. I hope Baseball Crank has a solid explanation for why Ray Epps isn't also charged. I can name the defendants who did far less and face serious charges. Okay, so this is that infamous Ray Epps video, and this one here.
Peacefully, fed.
Here, hang on. Let's just go. This is Ray Epps. Just a reminder. This is a refresher course on Mr. Ray Epps.
In fact, tomorrow, I don't even like to say it because I'll be arrested. Well, let's not say it. We need to go. I'll say it. All right. We need to go in to the Capitol. Let's go. I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it, okay? Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. Peacefully. Fed. Peacefully.
Here he is. This is January 6th.
As soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction. Start speaking. We are going to the Capitol. Where our problems are. It's that direction.
Now it's fascinating too, and I don't know when this one is, because when they got there before the president finished speaking and they breached those gates, did he come back and get more people to come down there? I'm not sure when this is. Is this before or after they breached the gates? I'm curious.
He spread the word.
Later, DI. Right here, and there he is. Now this is the guy. And I don't know, so the guy is here talking to the Capitol Police, right? I mean, I don't even know if the guy's arguing with him or what. I don't know what's going on back there, because this is before there was even a breach. But anyway. Now he whispers, now look, he whispers to them. And now they're gonna all go in. That guy, there he is, right here. There he is. They're all pushing through. And then now they knock this cop down, and then these gates all get removed before the main thrust of the people come down. You gotta wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder. I'm not going to sing Led Zeppelin songs, but it makes you wonder. I'm resisting singing Led Zeppelin songs. It makes you wonder. I can't do it. do, 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 do. It makes me wonder. So anyway, all these articles that Julie Kelly mentioned will be in the tab down in the description below today. That woke me up. How dare him? LOL. I'm not sure what that means. So anyway, yeah, I do say Nancy and Senate Security Committee refusing other agencies requested National Guard. More help by Nancy proves it's not an inside job, huh? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, what? Okay, we're having a discussion. If the committee meetings were about actually finding out anything, you would have a point, but they are just about getting nice clips for campaign ads and news coverage. Yeah, that too. Why didn't he ask? Get someone on the conference who will answer. Can't shake the feeling he is bare minimum representative of his constituents. Yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. You never know with Ted Cruz what his motivation is, but it's fascinating. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave it at that today. What's interesting is I had this. When did I put this out here? Oh, so much because you go in. Let me go into this tab because this morning also Thomas Massey. I'll put one more thing up here. Thomas Massey tweeted this. So now the January 6th committee thinks it's fine to encourage, organize, and direct people to go into the Capitol. Thanks for clearing that up because he's talking about Kinzinger's threat. He was on video the day before January 6th. He apparently broke no laws. Talking about inciting people to go into the Capitol. So someone down here says, well, let's compare Epps to Brandon Straka, for example. Epps was not present on January 6th, which this is how little people know about this. Straka, who was president and allegedly impeded a law enforcement officer, entered a restricted building and engaged in disorderly conduct. Yes, he walked through the building and took selfies with intent to disturb a hearing before Congress. Epps absolutely was there on January 6th. Video of him participating with and giving instruction to the first group of people who breached the barricades and police lines surrounding the Capitol. There are people who don't know that. It's insanity what people talk about when they're talking about this. It's almost to the point of just being flat out embarrassing. In fact, let's go back into this because this is still sitting up here up the upper right. They're messing with the narrative here. There's a narrative that they don't want to for anyone to breach, so to speak. Ray Epps testified he's not informed working for the FBI. So let's look at what they put down here. Again, Ray Epps, who is at the center of a right-wing conspiracy theory that FBI agents encourage the 1-6 riot. Now, notice how careful they are with the wording there, that FBI agents encourage the 1-6 riot. Okay, and then he told the House committee he's never worked or aided for the FBI. Okay, great. I'm glad you told him that. Snopes. Ray Epps told the January 6th committee has never been an FBI informant. Here's our take on this conspiracy theory. Because the January 6th committee said so. January 6th committee. The select committee is aware of unsupported claims that Ray Epps was an FBI informant based on the fact that he was on the FBI wanted list and then was removed from that list. This is what the January 6th committee wrote in their tweet, their tweet. Because he was removed from this without being charged. The committee has interviewed Epps. Epps informed us that he was not employed by, working with, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency on January 5th or 6th or at any other time, and that he has never been an informant of the FBI or other law enforcement agency. Oh, great. So then he should be arrested. Midnight in Exile, what's up? Nice to see you back. Okay, then he should be arrested. If he's not working with or for the FBI or the direction of the FBI, then he should be arrested. Tell me why he shouldn't be. The FBI is well known for telling you. Well, so are FBI informants. FBI informants are well known for saying that they do not work for the FBI, and they're usually very truthful because they're FBI informants. And if they weren't truthful, then you would know they're FBI informants. So they make sure they tell you they're not FBI informants. What's the next conspiracy? Trying to deflect your role in the insurrection. what do you mean? It's not a conspiracy. He was there. There's video of him. You can't even say it's there. You believe a tweet over damning evidence against Epps. Why hasn't Epps been charged? If anything, they should hold him accountable for inciting the insurrection, as most left-wing media outlets dubbed the strategically orchestrated attack on the Capitol. Because it's like, maybe somebody needs to tell Ted Cruz and the Republicans this info. Will they believe it? No, they won't. I don't know what he's talking about. That's the committee. The committee doesn't want us talking about this guy. So now we got the fact checkers and all these people doing their thing that they do, covering for, I don't know. Why are they covering for this guy? Why are they covering for this one man who clearly was doing what they argue that people should be in jail for? This guy, if inciting this is should be a felony or anything like that, this guy probably should be spending life in prison, okay? Because he led the insurrection. He led the first breach of the Capitol. It's like, oh, go figure. Go figure. Okay, I got to be done. Listen. Shout out to Ray Epps for successfully keeping your own ass out of jail, but I still want to know why you were there. Seems like no one wants to ask him that question. Why he was doing what he was doing, and you know, I want to know who those other people that haven't been arrested are too. Okay, they just are in the ether, and the orange hat guys and the guys with the earpieces. I just want to know who they all are and what the hell happened. But the January 6th committee is too busy orchestrating sound bites and, you know, getting their campaigns ready, because they know that Democrats are going to be in trouble in the 2022 elections. So we'll figure it out. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. Thank you for being here. If you have not hit the like button yet, please do it now, because I'm about to sign off. But also, wait till about the middle of the intro. I'll put a note in the chat when I have updated the one tab link, so you can get all these articles in one page, links to everything that we saw today, and some that we didn't go through, but that Julie Kelly put links to in, and if you want to find those, they'll be easier to find by doing that. So gotta go. Thanks everybody for being here. Do I have anything else to say? Yeah, just wait for the links. I'll put it in the chat when they're done, and then there'll be a link in the chat and in the description down below for anything we went through today. All right, that's it. Thanks everybody. Time for me to go. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thanks for watching today on the Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.